Welcome back to Demolition Worker. Today we uncover the complex nervous system hidden deep inside a massive retired commercial airplane. For a giant aircraft to operate smoothly, it requires an incredibly complex network of wires acting as its nervous system. In this exciting episode, we are breaking into the space beneath the ship floor to recover miles of electrical wiring. You will be absolutely amazed to learn that a standard Boeing aircraft contains over 150 miles of wires. That is roughly 240 kilometers of conductive materials weaving through the entire metallic structure of this giant bird. We start our heavy demolition process by carefully removing the main passenger cabin floor panels using heavy-duty power tools. Beneath these aluminum panels lies a hidden world of technology that once controlled every single movement of this massive machine. Look closely at these thick bundles running parallel to the fuselage, connecting the cockpit directly to the tail and wings. Every sensor, every light, and every critical engine component relies completely on this massive central nervous system to function properly. Our specialized team must identify the main routing channels before we can safely begin the extensive wire extraction process today. We bring in specialized industrial pulling machines designed specifically to drag these stubborn wire bundles out of the aircraft frame. Manual labor alone would take months, so these hydraulic winches provide the extreme force needed to tear the cables loose. The machine hooks onto the thickest wire clusters, slowly building tension until the heavy retaining clips finally snap and break. Watching these massive veins being pulled from the metallic skeleton is a truly fascinating and deeply satisfying industrial demolition site. These are certainly not your ordinary household electrical wires. They are manufactured to withstand extreme temperatures and severe atmospheric pressure. To ensure absolute signal clarity without any interference, aviation cables are often silver-plated or made from premium pure copper. Because human lives depend entirely on these signals, the materials used here represent the highest quality metals available on Earth. Therefore, recovering this specific type of aerospace wiring brings tremendous economic value to our overall aircraft recycling and dismantling operation. We must carefully guide the extraction cables through the narrow bulkheads to avoid snagging on the sharp, jagged aluminum edges. The winch operator communicates constantly with the floor team to maintain a steady and completely safe pulling speed during extraction. Section by section, we conquer the massive fuselage, dragging out long, colorful serpents of highly valuable copper and silver wiring. Sometimes the wires are tightly bound in thick protective Kevlar sleeves, requiring our workers to manually cut them open first. Every single inch of this extracted material will be carefully collected, weighed, and transported directly to our specialized processing facility. The sheer volume of wiring piling up on the hangar floor is a testament to modern engineering and human ingenuity. It looks like a massive, colorful mountain of spaghetti, but to our demolition crew, this mountain represents pure, unrefined gold. We estimate that a full extraction from this specific jumbo jet will yield several tons of premium-grade conductive metals. Once the main cabin is completely stripped of its nervous system, we move our equipment down into the cargo hold. The lower deck contains even thicker power cables that route electricity directly from the massive jet engines to the generators. These heavy-duty cables require a much larger hydraulic winch, anchored securely to the solid concrete floor of the hangar. The tremendous pulling force makes the entire aircraft vibrate, groaning loudly as its internal vital organs are finally ripped away. We always wear heavy protective gear, including reinforced gloves and safety glasses, to prevent injuries from snapping wires and debris. Now that the extraction is complete, we load the massive bundles onto transport trucks heading directly to the shredding plant. Welcome to the recycling facility. where the true magic of urban mining transforms this colorful waste into valuable raw materials. First step in our recycling process involves feeding these long tangled bundles into a massive industrial pre-shredding machine. Giant steel blades effortlessly chop the long wires into smaller, manageable pieces, preparing them perfectly for the next separation phase. These smaller chunks are then carried by a long conveyor belt into the main granulator for a much finer processing. Inside the granulator, high-speed rotating knives grind the pieces down until the plastic insulation completely separates from the metal. This mechanical separation is a crucial step, ensuring we recover the absolute maximum amount of pure copper without any contamination. Next, the mixed granules pass over a specialized vibrating table that uses targeted air currents to separate the different materials. Because the copper is significantly heavier than the plastic casing, the air effortlessly blows the lighter plastic waste safely away. What remains on the vibrating table is a beautiful shimmering river of tiny, perfectly clean, premium-grade pure copper granules. Watching the shiny metal cascade into the collection bins is incredibly satisfying after all the hard demolition work we perform. This highly efficient process is the ultimate form of urban mining, extracting precious resources directly from our discarded industrial machines. Every single pound of this recovered premium metal is worth a significant amount of money on the global commodities market. By recycling these materials, we drastically reduce the urgent need for destructive traditional mining operations across our beautiful natural environment. The plastic waste we separated earlier is also collected carefully and sent to another specialized facility for further environmental processing. Nothing goes to waste in our modern demolition operation. Every component of the old iron bird finds a new purpose. The copper granules are eventually melted down in massive furnaces to be reformed into brand new electrical wires and components. It is a perfect closed-loop system where the end of one machine directly provides the vital beginnings for another. As we look at the giant empty shell of the jumbo jet, we feel a deep sense of environmental accomplishment. We successfully extracted its entire nervous system, transforming what was once considered useless garbage into highly valuable global industrial resources. The sheer scale of this aerospace recycling operation requires immense dedication, specialized heavy equipment, and a highly trained demolition workforce. Each wire tells a unique story of millions of miles flown, carrying thousands of passengers safely across the vast oceans. Those silver-plated connectors once transmitted critical flight data through turbulent storms, ensuring the massive aircraft remained perfectly stable aloft. Now, their aviation duty is finally over, but their fundamental material value remains completely intact and ready for future applications. Our team continues to inspect the dark corners of the aircraft belly, ensuring no valuable copper wires are left behind. Even the smallest auxiliary cables connecting the bathroom lights are carefully ripped out and added to our massive recycling pile. The meticulous nature of this work proves that proper demolition is not just about destruction, but about intelligent resource recovery. We use powerful hydraulic cutters to sever the final stubborn connections, anchoring the main wiring harness to the cockpit firewall. The sound of snapping metal echoes through the empty cabin as the last major bundle is finally freed and extracted. Moving these massive bundles requires coordinated teamwork, as the dense copper cores make them surprisingly heavy and difficult to maneuver. We load the final batch onto the forklift, securing the colorful load tightly before transporting it to the waiting trucks. Back at the processing plant, the granulator continues its deafening roar, hungrily consuming the endless stream of aerospace electrical wiring. The continuous flow of shiny copper granules filling the large industrial storage bins is a spectacular and highly rewarding sight. We periodically test the purity of the recovered copper to ensure it meets the strict standards demanded by global manufacturers. High-purity copper conducts electricity much more efficiently, making our recycled aerospace materials extremely desirable for new high-tech electronics. The silver plating found on some of these specific wires adds an extra layer of hidden value to our extraction. Specialized chemical refineries will eventually process this mixed metal to separate the precious silver from the pure copper-based materials. This secondary refinement process maximizes our total economic return, proving that urban mining is an incredibly lucrative modern industrial business. Standing beside the mountain of processed copper, one can truly appreciate the hidden wealth contained within these retired flying machines. A single jumbo jet provides enough raw copper to wire hundreds of new residential homes or build modern electric vehicles. It is truly fascinating how human engineering can compress such a massive amount of valuable infrastructure into one flying tube. Our demolition workers take immense pride in knowing their difficult manual labor directly contributes to a more sustainable global economy. Every wire we pull, every pound we shred represents a tiny victory in the ongoing battle for global resource conservation. The massive shredding blades require constant maintenance and frequent sharpening to easily slice through the tough aerospace-grade protective shielding. We pause the machines briefly to replace a worn cutting blade, ensuring the separation process remains perfectly efficient and clean. Once the new blade is securely installed, the deafening industrial symphony resonates, transforming more aerospace waste into pure copper treasure. The vibrating separation table works flawlessly, creating a mesmerizing visual display as the heavy copper dances away from the plastic. We carefully sweep up any stray granules from the concrete floor, because in this lucrative business, every single ounce matters. The filled storage bags are weighed accurately on a large industrial scale, documenting our precise daily yield of recovered metals. Today's massive extraction effort has been incredibly successful, yielding thousands of pounds of exceptionally high-quality, pure aerospace-grade copper. The logistics team prepares the heavy bags for immediate shipment to the foundry, where they will begin their next life. Looking back at the stripped fuselage, the aircraft now looks like an empty, hollow cave devoid of its technological soul. We have successfully removed its complex nervous system, leaving behind only the bare aluminum skeleton waiting for the final scrap. The upcoming phases of this demolition project will involve cutting the massive aluminum fuselage into smaller pieces for separate recycling. But the wire extraction phase remains the most intricate and economically rewarding part of dismantling these gigantic retired commercial airplanes. It requires a delicate balance of brutal pulling force and precise mechanical separation to truly unlock the hidden metal wealth. We hope you have enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating hidden world of aerospace wiring and modern urban mining. The complexity of these flying machines never ceases to amaze our experienced crew, even after dismantling dozens of similar aircraft. Seeing the incredible transformation from tangled dusty cables to brilliant shiny copper granules is what makes this difficult job worthwhile. We will continue to break down these massive iron birds, recovering valuable resources and protecting our precious natural global environment. Next time you fly, just imagine the hundreds of miles of hidden copper veins silently working beneath your comfortable seat. It is a miraculous feat of engineering that connects our modern world and eventually provides materials for the next generation. Thank you for joining our demolition crew today as we successfully conquered the massive nervous system of this giant plane. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more extreme industrial dismantling projects coming soon to our rapidly growing channel. We will tackle even bigger machines and uncover more hidden treasures buried deep within the world of heavy industrial equipment. Until next time, stay safe and keep building. This is Demolition Worker signing off from another highly successful recycling mission.